This woman is trapped deep inside the Australian wilderness, completely alone, hunted by a psychopath who turns human beings into beef jerky. And the scariest part is, nobody even knows where she is. High above the frozen mountains of Norway, Sasha and her boyfriend Tommy are living a life most people could never imagine. The couple spends their days climbing deadly cliffs thousands of feet above the ground, while sleeping inside a tiny tent hanging from the side of the mountain. Their fingers are covered in cuts and wounds from years of climbing, but neither of them seems to care, because this dangerous lifestyle is exactly what makes them feel alive. Early the next morning, Sasha wakes Tommy up and immediately wants to continue climbing toward the summit. The two move effortlessly across the cliffside, proving they've done this for years. They laugh, kiss, and scream in excitement while scaling impossible rock walls. But despite all her experience, Sasha keeps struggling at the exact same section of the mountain. Again and again she slips, and each failure makes her more frustrated. Tommy tells her to slow down and stop pushing herself so hard, but Sasha refuses to listen and keeps trying until darkness begins to fall. Realizing the storm is getting worse, Tommy convinces her to stop and try again another day. That night inside the tent, Tommy admits something surprising. He says he doesn't think he has many adventures left in him anymore. Deep down, he's worried Sasha's carelessness is eventually going to get them both killed. He jokes about his lucky compass warning him, but Sasha playfully knocks it out of his hands because she doesn't want to hear it. The next morning, the storm becomes even stronger, forcing them to abandon the climb and descend the mountain instead. Powerful winds shake the cliffside while rocks fall from above, so Tommy tells Sasha to stay close to the wall. Suddenly, a massive rock crashes directly into Tommy and smashes his head against the mountain. His unconscious body falls over the edge and hangs from the rope while Sasha desperately grabs on to stop herself from falling too. She screams his name over and over, but Tommy never responds. His weight slowly drags Sasha closer and closer to the edge. If she keeps holding on, both of them are going to die. Crying and terrified, Sasha finally makes the impossible decision to let go. Tommy's body disappears into the darkness below, while Sasha collapses on the cliff in complete shock. 5 months later, Sasha is now traveling alone across the Australian desert, carrying nothing except Tommy's old compass and overwhelming guilt. She drives through endless empty roads trying to escape her memories, but everywhere she goes reminds her of Tommy. Eventually, she reaches Wandering National Park, a remote wilderness area filled with rivers, cliffs, and dense forests. At the entrance, the ranger warns her not to go alone because multiple people have recently disappeared inside the park. Most people would immediately turn back after hearing that, but Sasha signs the papers anyway. At a nearby grocery store, two creepy hunters begin staring at her and making uncomfortable comments. Sasha tries to ignore them, but the men corner her near the counter until a strange man named Ben suddenly steps in and scares them away. Ben seems awkward but friendly, so Sasha thanks him by buying some of the beef jerky he sells. Outside, Sasha notices her GPS still isn't working, so she asks Ben for directions to Grand Alneros. Instead, Ben recommends a hidden location called Blackstone Bay and claims it's far more beautiful. He starts warning her that things can get intense out there, but Sasha cuts him off and drives away before he can explain further. Hours later, Sasha camps beside a lake for the night, but her peace is interrupted when the same hunters arrive nearby with their barking dog and freshly killed deer. The atmosphere immediately feels uncomfortable again, and Sasha decides to sleep inside her car instead. The next morning, she continues deeper into the wilderness by kayak, navigating dangerous rapids and waterfalls with incredible skill. At first, the scenery is breathtaking. Massive cliffs surround crystal-clear rivers while waterfalls crash through untouched forests. For a moment, it almost feels like Sasha is finally finding peace again. But everything changes when she notices strange photographs hanging from trees. As she gets closer, Sasha realizes they belong to the missing campers from the park. Suddenly, the wilderness no longer feels peaceful. It feels like someone is watching her. That night, Sasha camps alone in the forest and hangs her clothes and equipment out to dry before eating some of Ben's beef jerky. The next morning, she wakes up and discovers all her belongings are gone, including her phone and food. While searching nearby, she nearly steps on a snake before stumbling across a small hidden campsite deep in the woods. To her surprise, Ben is there, waiting for her. He acts happy to see her and calmly explains that wombats probably stole her belongings. He offers her food and water while talking about how much he loves the wilderness. Ben explains that his mother used to bring him here as a child and that he fell in love with nature because of her. Sasha tries being polite, but something about Ben's behavior feels increasingly strange. Then she notices her missing bracelet on his wrist. The moment Sasha questions him, Ben casually admits he stole her belongings. He even reveals he went to her campsite because he thought she might need protection from the hunters. Sasha becomes visibly uncomfortable and tries to leave, but Ben suddenly blocks her path with a crossbow in his hands. Then he places a speaker on the ground and starts blasting blasting music through the forest. Calmly smiling, Ben tells Sasha he restocked all her supplies except for her phone. He says she now has until the song ends to run as far away as possible. Terrified, Sasha immediately sprints through the forest while Ben dances behind her like a man completely disconnected from reality. The moment the music stops, Ben begins hunting her for real. Sasha reaches the river and escapes in her kayak while Ben chases her from the shoreline carrying the crossbow. Violent rapids throw Sasha toward a waterfall, flipping her kayak upside down and nearly drowning her. She barely escapes the harness and crawls onto shore exhausted and freezing. As Sasha runs through the forest searching for help, she suddenly hears people talking nearby. Thinking she's saved, she desperately follows the voices, only to discover a phone playing an old recording from one of Ben's victims. Seconds later, an arrow flies past her face and slams into the rocks. Ben appears high above her, holding the crossbow, smiling while stalking her through the canyon. Sasha runs for her life, while arrows fly around her from every direction. One slices open her leg, while another knocks her down a hill and into the river below. The violent currents drag her through dangerous canyons before she barely survives by holding onto rocks. Realizing she's trapped inside the canyon system, Sasha uses her climbing experience to escape upward without any gear. After several dangerous moves, she finally reaches the top and spots Ben's boat near the riverbank. But then she notices something horrifying. Ben is casually swimming naked in the water while listening to music, as if nothing is wrong. Sasha carefully sneaks toward the boat, hoping to escape, but she accidentally steps into a hidden bear trap that crushes her leg. Her scream echoes across the canyon, immediately alerting Ben. He chains Sasha to the trap and slowly drags her toward him like an animal, while she desperately tries to escape. Sasha sprays pepper spray directly into Ben's eyes and almost grabs the crossbow, but Ben recovers quickly and overpowers her again. This time, he hangs her from a tree by her wrists and explains that hunting people is part of a sacred ritual. He believes pain makes people stronger and talks about tribes who sharpen their teeth into points. Then he suddenly removes his fake teeth to reveal sharp animal-like ones underneath. The next morning, Ben handcuffs Sasha and chains her to his boat before forcing her deeper into the wilderness. While traveling through the river, Ben reveals he researched Sasha after finding her name at the ranger station. He knows everything about Tommy's death and begins suggesting that maybe Sasha wanted Tommy to fall. His words hit Sasha hard because deep down, she already blames herself every single day. Eventually, Ben leads Sasha into a hidden cave system beneath the cliffs. Inside, Sasha discovers hanging corpses and realizes the horrifying truth. Ben's beef jerky is actually dried human flesh. He even reveals that the first person he ever ate was his own mother because he believes consuming someone allows their spirit to stay with him forever. Sasha finally understands that Ben is completely insane and realizes she will never survive unless she fights back. When Ben gets close to her, Sasha suddenly bites off part of his ear and attacks him. During the struggle, Sasha breaks free and jumps into the underground river while still chained to Ben. The violent current drags both of them through deadly rapids and waterfalls. Ben smashes his head against rocks and loses consciousness, giving Sasha a chance to escape, but the chain connecting them gets trapped underwater, forcing Sasha to pull Ben back to the surface. When he wakes up, the two begin a savage fight for survival, choking and trying to drown each other in the freezing water. Sasha eventually grabs a rock and repeatedly smashes Ben's leg until it breaks completely. Injured and exhausted, both of them collapse on the riverbank with no energy left to continue fighting. That night, Sasha finally opens up about Tommy's death. Through tears, she admits she'll never know whether Tommy was still alive when she let go of the rope, and the guilt has been destroying her ever since. By morning, Ben's broken leg is badly infected, and Sasha realizes they'll both die if they remain trapped at the bottom of the canyon. Their only chance is climbing out together. Using ropes and climbing gear, Sasha begins leading the dangerous climb barefoot, while Ben follows behind, connected to her harness. Ben constantly watches her because he knows she could let him die at any moment. Several times, Sasha secretly tries removing the harness, but Ben notices and violently pulls the ropes to punish her. As they continue climbing, Ben repeatedly asks Sasha whether Tommy's death was truly an accident. Sasha never answers. Finally, after hours of climbing, Sasha reaches the top and secures the rope around a tiny tree. Then, while Ben hangs below her, she quietly removes the harness completely. Ben realizes too late what she's done. Suddenly, the rope disconnects and Ben falls to his death deep into the canyon below. Even without equipment, Sasha refuses to give up and somehow finishes the final climb alone using pure determination. When she finally reaches the top, she collapses in relief before continuing through the wilderness for hours until she finally reaches a road where passing drivers rescue her. Authorities later discover Ben's cave and recover the bodies of all his victims, exposing the horrifying truth behind the disappearances. In the end, Sasha returns to the beach carrying Tommy's compass one final time. After everything she survived, she finally understands she can't keep living trapped by guilt forever. With tears in her eyes, Sasha kisses the compass and throws it into the ocean, finally letting Tommy go and freeing herself from the pain that has haunted her since the day she let go of the rope. If you enjoyed this recap, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications for more intense movie recaps and survival thrillers just like this one. Thanks for watching.